Hello, everybody. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? I'm doing quite well. So, I had quite a few people asking me for some updates on what's going on with the big U Bricc baby Luce Cannon RICO thing. So, first of all, the Bricc baby indictment is its own and separate indictment. It is not being tried alongside the big U indictment. Okay, so it's confusing because there are a few things that do tie Bricc baby to this big U case. Like, for example, one thing is his name is mentioned in the big U criminal complaint. Now, this Luce Cannon fellow, his real government name is Termaine Ashley Williams. Williams, as Luce Cannon, he is being indicted alongside Big U with this RICO thing. And also, yes, his name is mentioned in the criminal complaint as well, but he is, as of today, Wednesday, March 26, 2025, one of the named defendants. Bricc baby is not. Zihirr Mitchell is not. Also, a lot of people I'm hearing on podcasts and blogs and stuff saying inaccurately and incorrectly that Bricc baby is being charged in his own personal indictment because of this transaction with Big U, meaning he had done this robbery, and meaning in the RICO indictment for the Big U case, the feds charged there that there was some type of robbery. Bricc baby did this robbery, according to the feds, and then he had to give a certain percentage of it to Big U. And then the feds, the FBI agent, is saying in that Big U case, he's saying that he has recordings of Bricc baby and Big U talking out the details. It does say that in the federal indictment. However, again, like I said already, Bricc baby is not a defendant in the federal indictment. That was just being cited as like a little bit of proof for some larger checking in scheme with this extortion payment allegations. Bricc baby's indictment, the Zihirr Mitchell indictment specifically, has nothing to do with paying an extortion payment or robbery or any of that. It is that he possessed pew pew and ammunition. That's why. That is what the whole federal indictment is based on. It is not based on that payment to Big U, alleged or otherwise. That's not what it's based on. But it does just so happen that Bricc baby was picked up on the date that he was picked up on, specifically because of his connection to this whole Big U thing. Because remember, if you watched my last video on this, Bricc baby's criminal complaint were from a whole month ago, February 26th, literally a month ago today. They waited until almost a month to arrest him. And the reason is because they were waiting to take him down. And then you remember they put his picture up, Operation Drawdown. So it's interesting how he was advertised as being arrested at the same time as the Operation Drawdown. His name is mentioned in the federal indictment of Big U and Luce Cannon, but it really doesn't explicitly say that much about the gang activity in his separate indictment. Now, maybe they're getting ready to put charges on him for this criminal indictment. I don't know, but it's just interesting that they haven't. And then he does seem to be being investigated, or was, like, he was put on the mugshot with everybody else. Anyway, so he has been indicted, he has been arraigned or whatever, and he pled not guilty. Here is the docket for his case. There have been some new documents that have been just recently updated as of, I believe it was today. I mean, I've been checking this thing every day, periodically, and there were some documents that were not available before, and they are now. Some of these documents, y'all, are still not available. Like, see how it goes from number 1, 2, and then straight to 4. So number 3, whatever that is missing. So there were some missing ones that just came available, and it allowed me to piece together some pretty important information. Okay, so all that to say, let me get into the important stuff that I did find, and then I will throw up on the screen the documents that, led me to that belief. These are all public documents, and this is just my personal opinion. I am a trained lawyer. I am not your lawyer. I am not licensed to practice law. I do not give legal advice to anyone publicly or privately, and this is not legal advice. Okay, I do have to say that. Be aware, I am not giving legal advice. This is just my opinion. I wasn't there. I have no further information than y'all do. So Bricc baby was arrested in LA. Where is he today? He is still in jail. He did already have his detention hearing. So whenever you are arrested, at least in the federal system, and you are brought before a judge, you have to do your plea, you're guilty, you're not guilty. And then the judge decides at that hearing or a later one whether or not you can be out on bail. If you can, what restrictions you might have or not have. Do you have to give up your passport? All of that stuff. All of that is in the detention hearing realm. So, as far as Bricc Baby is concerned, he already had his detention hearing. The feds wanted to keep him in detention, keep him in jail pending his trial. They want to keep him in the whole time. And he did, it appears that he and his lawyer attempted to fight back, to argue back, but the judge did order that Bricc Baby has to stay in prison, or excuse me, in jail until his trial. And the judge made this decision based on a few things. This is what the judge ordered. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what the judge ordered. The judge said, I'm looking at my notes down here, he has to be held in jail pending trial because there is a serious risk, according to the court, that Bricc Baby would flee. And this serious risk that he would flee is based off of a few things. Like, for one, the nature of the charges are such that they're so serious, and the consequences of the charge are so serious that it would give him an incentive to flee. Also, obviously, it is necessary for him to be here at trial. That was one of the reasons. And they did hit him with that. The safety of the community would be at risk. Safety to persons or the community would be at risk if he were to be allowed out. The judge did hear the government's argument that there is no condition or set of conditions that could possibly make it to where he wouldn't be a risk of flight and a danger to the community and all of that. You know, a lot of times you'll be able to get out if you have an ankle bracelet or if you're on house arrest or whatever. But the judge said, no, there's no condition or set of conditions we could possibly put in place that would decrease the chance that he might flee, that he might run away. The judge did take into consideration whether or not he had enough assets to post a bond and give him an incentive and, you know, all of that. The judge did determine that Bricc Baby does have to stay in jail pending trial. Okay. Also, Bricc Baby was appointed a lawyer. You know, the everybody knows it, right? From the cop show and elsewhere. I mean, it's the Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Federal cases have federal public defenders. And in my limited personal experience, federal public defenders are some of the most top-notch lawyers, believe it or not. Believe it or not, they are some of the most top-notch because they don't just take any old person off the street. These are people that have like very high achievements. You can't just roll off the street from law school. Even like a top 5 law school, even a top 1 law school, you do not roll off the street and become a federal public defender. It's a very prestigious job. Now, do they always do a good job? Probably not. I mean, they definitely are overloaded. The caseloads, I mean, there's like a lot of cases, and you're going up a lot of times against really powerful. I mean, the federal conviction rate, I think, is like 98%. I mean, I'm going to look up the statistic, but it's very high. But anyway, so all that to say, Bricc Baby has one of those. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. He has one of those. And I mean, I looked into her a little bit. It's just, the issue is like, she doesn't have like a website. She doesn't have a bio up. I mean, she does have a LinkedIn. I mean, I didn't like click on it because I don't know if people can see if I'm clicking on it. I don't want it to be like that. But like, by all accounts, like, I don't know. He has been appointed an attorney. And he will not be getting out of jail until his trial. Now, that brings me to the next thing. His trial is already set, and it is fast approaching. His trial is set for May 13th, 2025. It's starting the day after Diddy's opening statements start. So it's like a month and a half away, 2 months away. Bricc Baby's trial is starting. And the estimation on the paperwork is that it's only going to take 2 to 3 days for the whole entire trial. So that's where Bricc Baby stands. But contrast that with where Big U stands. Big U, again, totally separate cases. They're not the same case. Bricc Baby, yes, is mentioned in the Big U case, but they're not the same case. And the Bricc Baby case really don't make too much mention, if any, of at all, of the Big U case. Bricc Baby already had his detention hearing, and his trial has already been scheduled, and it's happening in 2 months. Big U has not even had his detention hearing yet. Big U is also in jail right now pending trial, but he hasn't even had his detention hearing yet. And that would bring us to Luce Termaine Ashley Williams. He was arrested in Nevada. Okay, he was arrested over there in Nevada, probably like Vegas or whatever. And the judge did enter on March 20th, so 6 days ago, a transfer order. So he is supposed to be transferred to the jurisdiction of the Central District of California. There is a United States versus Termaine Ashley Williams case and a docket in and of itself as well. Just wanting to point out here that Luce Cannon has, at least on this paperwork, it is checked off, marked off, that he is not going to request an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Yes, I cannot afford an attorney. I need one appointed to me. That one, he's not getting one of those. It says that he is going to be hiring or retaining his own counsel, but it does not tell us who specifically that is. It does not say who that is. In fact, I can't see who any of these people's attorney are except for Bricc Baby, because he has the federal defender and she has already filed an appearance in the case. The other lawyers haven't started filing their appearances yet. Okay, so Luce Cannon, it's hard to know exactly if he is already in the Central District of California or if he's still in Nevada. I don't know, because like I showed y'all on the Bricc Baby one, a lot of these documents currently are still sealed, and way more documents are sealed for Luce Cannon and Big U than are for Bricc Baby. And then there is one miscellaneous. We do have Manny, who is accused, and all these people are all innocent and should be presumed innocent until proven guilty. But Armani, girl, I do not know how to say her last name. Aflagi? Is it Aflagi? Hope that's it. They call her Mani. So Mani, she was also arrested, but in the big, takedown or whatever. And she's alleged to have been, providing women specifically. Providing women over the age of 18 is the specific, thing. There's no allegations of children or underage people, but she's out. They let her, she is out, and she's posting on Instagram. She's got the food cam, she's got the ankle bracelet on, but she is out, and good luck to her. It looks like she may be with child. Congratulations to you, Monty, and all the best of luck. Yep, Bricc Baby, his trial is coming up. It looks like Big U will be having a detention hearing coming up next month, according to reports. Luce Cannon, he's got himself a lawyer, I guess, and he is scheduled to be, or maybe already is, transferred from Nevada to California. Monty is out. Congratulations to her. And yeah, that's pretty much all I really had for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.